Welcome everybody. It's been a while, so I thought we could start back up again with some bedtime stories. I got a couple of children's paperback, or I guess hardcover books. And I also thought I would try these children's books with, I suppose they're called wooden books. So I'm excited to read those through. But we're going to start off with the leaf jumpers. This is written by Carol Gerber and is illustrated by Leslie Evans. We watch a soft wind shake the trees. It lifts the leaves and sets them free. Released, they flutter through the air, drifting downward gracefully. We run to catch the falling leaves. We smell their smells and touch their veins. Bright jewels from the crowns of trees. We trace their shapes. We say their names. Red maple's broad and pointed leaves flame bright and vivid as a match. The sugar maple's leaves are orange, like pumpkins in a pumpkin patch. Stubby fingers, brown as dirt, reach from the slender white oak leaf. The basswood's glowing yellow leaves are shaped like hearts with little teeth. Birch leaf, oval as an egg, falls sunny side up upon the ground. Yellow leaves, willow leaves turn yellow-green and hang from limbs that all curve down. The ginkgo's wavy golden leaf is shaped just like a little fan. The broad leaf of the sycamore is yellow with a coat of tan. We toss the bright leaves in the air, oranges, yellows, golds, and reds. We dance together as they fall. Leaf hats settle on our heads. We clap with joy. We love the leaves. We rake a glowing golden heap. Then, holding hands, we jump into a pile of colors 3 feet deep. Leaves that turn bright colors in the autumn or green during the spring and summer. During those seasons, the green leaves make food for the tree from water, air, and sunshine. The tree food made in the leaves is a kind of sugar that keeps the leaves alive and helps the tree to grow. In the fall, the weather turns colder. There is not enough sunshine. The rain for the leaves is to make food for the tree. Their job is done and the tree stops growing. It has no further use for its leaves, so they begin to die. Then something beautiful happens. The leaves change colors. Out come the yellow and orange hues that during spring and summer were covered by shades of green. Other changes in the leaves make the red and brown colors come out too. The leaves containing the most stored food turn the brightest colors before they fall to the ground. We are going to do. Here is the very hungry caterpillar next. This one's by Eric Carl. Where is the very hungry caterpillar? Is he nibbling on the strawberry? No, that's a tiny ant. Is he hiding in the grass? No, that's a chirpy cricket. Is he munching the cake? No, that's a squeaky mouse. Is he resting in the nest? No, that's a cheerful chick. Beep, beep. Is he sleeping under the leaf? Yes, here he is. Wake up, very hungry caterpillar. Next, we have Bear Child by Geoff Mead and Zane Duft. Tell me about the bear folk, Daddy, said Ursula. All right, said Daddy, gathering her up in his lap. It's well known that all bears alive today are descended from the very first bears that Numitorium, the great bear of the northern sky, sent down to earth long ago on threads woven from sun rays and moonbeams. Everybody knows that, Daddy. Of course they do, but it's not well known that in those days bears and people sometimes fell in love and married each other. Their children were half human, half bear, so they became known as bear folk. I like hearing about them best, said Ursula. The bear folk were special, said Daddy, because they could change their shape from one to the other whenever they wanted, which was very convenient for catching fish and climbing trees, and for sewing clothes and learning to draw. I want to marry a bear, said Ursula. That's not as easy as it used to be, said Daddy. Nowadays, all bears have decided that they are better off staying away from people and living in the woods. And nearly all people have decided that they are better off staying away from bears and living in towns. Do you want to know a secret? Daddy whispered in his daughter's ear. Yes, please. Promise not to tell anyone? I promise. All right then. Now that people live in towns and bears live in the woods, have you ever wondered what happened to the bear folk? Are there still bear folk, Daddy? Oh yes, he said. Once bears and people got mixed up, they couldn't be unmixed up. And there are still bear children, Daddy? Yes, but you have to look for them. Some bear cubs like to slip away from the woods, change shape, and visit towns. You see them in the park sometimes, playing with children. What about the children? Do they change shape and play with bear cubs in the woods? Some do, said Daddy, usually at night when their parents think they are tucked in bed, dreaming. I dream about playing with bears sometimes, said Ursula. Do you think I could be a bear child? Let's see. They love to walk barefoot through long grass. I hate wearing shoes, said Ursula. They are extremely clever and ask lots of questions. I know all about numbers and stories and animals and places, said Ursula. They are sturdy and strong, not skinny, blinky long legs. I'm very strong, said Ursula, hugging her daddy extra tight. So you are. Bear children love teddy bears, and they have lots of them. I've got dozens, said Ursula. I'm going to write a book about them one day. They love to eat, said Daddy, and their favorite food is apple pie. I was just about to say apple pie. On the whole, bear children are as nice as pie too, but they can be very fierce when they get angry. Grr, growled Ursula. What do bear children do when they grow up, Daddy? That depends, he said. Some never find out what they really are, but the ones who discover their inner bear do amazing things. What sorts of things? All sorts. They travel far and wide. They read lots of books. They collect interesting stuff. They run and swim and ski. They grow things in their gardens and look after the world. They have lots and lots of friends, and they laugh a lot. Tell me more. Let's see. Well, they make wonderful dens, and they like to spend time with other creatures. They are cooks and clowns and artists and teachers. Do they get married and have children? said Ursula. "Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't," said Daddy. "But they are all adventurous, and they have extraordinary lives." "Daddy, yes, do bear folk live forever?" "In our world, no one lives forever, sweetheart. We come here for a time, and then we go back home." "Where is home for bear folk, Daddy?" asked Ursula, with a puzzled frown. "How do they get back there?" "When it's time to go home, old Pneumatorium wraps them in threads made of sun rays and moonbeams, and lifts them back up into the sky." "Then what happens?" asked Ursula. "He gives them a big hug that lasts for 100 years, replied Daddy, giving her a squeeze. "Then he sends them off to play among the stars with all the other bears who have come home." "I'd like that," said Ursula, yawning. Her eyelids drooped, her voice trailed off, and she was fast asleep. "So would I, sweetheart," said Daddy, scratching a tuft of fur behind his ear. "So would I." And last but not least, we have "I Love You, the Purplest." The moon glowed on one side of the lake while the sun shimmered on the other. This was the time when fishing was best. Julian scooped the dirt to find the fattest worms. Max flung dirt in the air until a tangle of worms filled his can. "Mama, who has the most worms?" he asked. Mama smiled. "Max, your can is full of the liveliest worms, and Julian, yours has the juiciest." Max, Julian, and Mama stepped into the wooden boat. Julian took one oar and Max took the other. Julian painted his blue boots wide and took deep, even strokes. Max braced his red boots against the ribs of the boat and stroked quickly through the water. Julian gasped, "Mama, who's the best rower?" Mama's eyes grew soft. "Why, Julian? You took the deepest strokes, and Max, your strokes were the fastest." The three finished until stars sprinkled the sky and water turned dark as night. In the end, Mama caught one fish, Julian caught one fish, and Max caught 3. "I'm the best fisherman," cried Max, hoisting his fish in the air. Julian pushed his hat brim low on his face. 3 fish! What a bountiful fisherman you are," said Mama. "And Julian, you're the cleverest. Your fish hid in the weeds, but you waited and reeled in a fine, fat fish." When the fishing and bass and stories were done, Mama took the brothers into bed. "Mama," whispered Julian, "who do you love the most?" Mama crouched low to the bunk where Max slept. "Mama," whispered Max, "who do you love the best?" Why, Max, I love you the reddest. I love you the color of the sky before it blazes into night. I love you the color of a leopard's eyes when it prowls through the jungle, and the color of a campfire at the edge of the flame, the swirl of a magic cape, the thunder of a shout. The smile on Max's face grew and grew, then it came out in a big, thundery laugh. Later in the evening, the brothers and their mama slept on one in the top bunk, glowing like the evening moon, one in the bottom bunk, shimmering like the evening sun, and Mama in the big bed, dreaming of the boys she loved best. And that's the fourth book. Let me know what you guys like the most, and if I should maybe pick up more picture books. I'll see you guys in the next one.